Tuesday. Can you believe it? I think it's like week 14. Scaling, we talked OSPF. Talk about OSPF networks right over here. Did the lab and talk about multi-access. So OSPF, you can have point-to-point, you can have broadcast multi-access or non-broadcast multi-access. Point to multi-point. So I'll just clarify that. Good example of, start down here at the bottom, point to a point to multi-point. You might have, let's say this is headquarters right here, and then you could have these like this. All these remote sites could commute to there, so we have one point to multi-point. You can have, in this scenario, frame relay is a good example. We're using frame relay down here. Not that that's probably becoming less popular, but you can have all these computers connected. Okay, so they're multi-access, but they're non-broadcast. Now, this, we have a bunch of routers connected to a switch. That environment is a broadcast multi-access. So you elect a DR and a backup DR. You can broadcast to your designated routers using a multicast address, and they can contact all the routers participating in OSPF with multicast address. One other concept I should mention here, virtual link. We have area 51, area 0. There is a way to link 51 to area 0, which is a requirement of OSPF, through another area, but it's a virtual link. It just passes through, doesn't interact with anything that's. So we worked on some lab work. We talked about you can set priority. Let me see here. Let me do that again. Set the priority on an interface, 1 to 255. The higher the priority, then it'll become the DR. Set at 0, it'll never become a DR. So we elect a DR and a backup designated router. The next choice would be a router ID. You can assign it highest loopback or highest IP. Highest, I mean the greatest number, highest number. And then that would assign to the router. Now if it's, these are version 4, if it's IP version 6, you have to assign a router ID. Okay? In OSPF. The last thing, it's a little crazy, but let's run through it here briefly. In this scenario, once you elect a DR and a backup DR, once you select those, they stay that way. Okay? Even if you add a router with a higher priority, this doesn't change unless you would do a shutdown, take that one down, and even if this has a higher priority, it still goes to the backup. Goes to the backup. So you'd have to shut that down in order for a new election to take place. And then the highest priority would win. That concept here that we just mentioned, that can be a little confusing. But that's how it works. Okay, that is it for today.